It's amazing how one can learn so much about my health condition by feeling my pulse with fingertips. The Herbal foot bath stimulates blood circulation, and the health click packs on my shoulder helps to regulate blood flow in my body. This is the relaxation I've been longing for. This acupressure and meridian point massage doesn't only soothe our muscles and joints, it helps with the flow of qi in our bodies as well.
Okay, now we change to the other side. Same.
Qigong sets my mind at ease. The world around me seems peaceful and calm.
I have calmed down a great deal ever since I picked up Qigong. It helps to bring out the inner energy, to restore our physical state, to be more healthy and fit. It also gives us total balance between body, mind, and soul.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are here to have an interview session on traditional Chinese medicine. Here we have with us our esteemed guest, Madam Chang I.D., one of the traditional Chinese medicine Chinese physicians in GHHS Healthcare's Traditional Chinese Medicine Center. She is a resident Chinese physician who graduated from Heilongjiang University of Chinese Medicine, China, with a bachelor's degree in traditional Chinese medicine. She specialized in cancer rehabilitation therapy and post-stroke rehabilitation therapy. She is an expert in insomnia and anxiety disorders and trained in scalp acupuncture treatment. She is also a member of the Malaysian Chinese Medical Association, also known as the MCMA. Thank you for agreeing to have an interview with us, Madam. We are the final year pharmacy students from Management and Science University. I'm Lakshmi.
I am Revati.
I'm Sharon.
I am Shamila.
And I am Nipala here.
Without further ado, let's begin the interview session.
Hi, madam. I'm Shani here. Let me start with my first question. May I know what types of TCM services are being practiced in GHHS TCM Center?
Yeah, actually in TCM, we are practicing like pulse reading, the herbs, herbology, and then the acupuncture, trina, and then the motivations services, and then cupping as well in TCM Center here.
I see. Thank you, madam. So my next question is going to be, since madam is specially trained in cancer rehabilitation therapy and post-stroke rehabilitation therapy, can madam explain how the treatment is done and how it works?
Actually, normally for, like post-stroke, the stroke patients, normally we do acupuncture. We have scalp acupuncture, the head acupunctures, and then the motivations. But somehow it depends. Normally, the acupuncture is the more concerned services for us to do. Like others, like bloodletting, we need to see depends on the conditions, the stroke patient's conditions. Normally, we do stroke scalp acupuncture, and then the body, and then the stomach needle, and then the hand, and then the whole body. It depends the conditions. Normally, it's acupuncture, and then some trina we do apply on the patients. It depends.
I see. Thank you, madam. So my next question is, what are the advantage or benefits of TCM when compared with Western medicine?
If compare the both medicines to have strength and weakness, and then for TCMs, we are being treatments to treat the cause, the root of the problem in TCM. But somehow in Western medicine is very powerful, but sometimes too powerful with significant side effects. But for TCM, our main concerns, the benefits is we treat the root of the problem. Yes, understand? The cause, the cause of the disease we are treating.
Okay, understand, madam. Thank you.
Good afternoon, madam. I am Shamala. The first question I have for you is, what are the 8 principles of diagnosis in traditional Chinese medicine? Can madam explain more about the principles?
The 8 principles. The 8 principles is, the first one is the yin, yang, and then we have the interior, exterior, and then the heat, cold, and then the efficiency and the excess. So like the yin and yang is a pair of, they cannot live independent. Like yin along with the yang is used to describe the relationship between the other. So like yin is like cold, yang is like the hot. Like yin is the moon, like yang is the sun. So their relationships depends on each other. And then for the interior mostly describes the disease that manifests themselves in the 脏腑 organs. It's more on the interior or deep inside the body. So such as the qi, blood, and then the bone marrow. More broadly, it will need to describe the disease that cannot be manifest as the exterior. But for exterior, number 4, exterior describe the disease that manifest themselves on surface of our body, like hair, skin, the nail, and meridian as well. The clinical features include the body chills like fever, and then cold temperatures, like on the surface on the body. This one can describe. And then for the heat, is can describe the absence of the aversion to cold, the heat. So provided and for like the heat, normally you have like sore throat, can show symptoms of you have the heat symptoms inside the body. And for the cold, if patients with interior, the symptoms can include like stomach pain, vomiting, can sign of cold, like yang deficiency, the cold. And then the deficiency is used to describe vacuity in qi, blood or body. It depends on how it relates to the interior, like deficiencies. You can like manifest as constipations because you are deficiency of qi. You are not enough qi. That's why you have problem with the constipations. For the excess, generally classifies any disease that identify as excess. You are more than enough because like it can manifest as like thick piles. The piles are very thick, like sweaty palms, because you are assess of the disease, show of symptoms like excess of more than enough. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand, madam. Understand.
You understand? Huh? Oh, okay.
Yes.
What are the
Thank you for the clear explanation. So I'll proceed with my next question. How is the diagnosis of disease made in traditional Chinese medicine? What method is used to evaluate a patient's condition?
How is the diagnosis of disease made in? The diagnosis of disease made in tradition. The diagnosis we include the methods is like we have inspections, palpations, and then we have inquiries. The first one, when we do the inspections, like looking, focus on the visual analysis, like on the face, and then on the tongue, because the tongue will represent the sickness of the surface on the tongue can show the sickness of the disease. So it depends, and then it's related to our organs. And then that will correspond to particular organs that can reveal a lot of symptoms, like depends like the front of the tongue, the side of the tongue, the middle of the tongue. At the front of the tongue, it represents the lung, and then the side of the tongue, it represents the liver and the gallbladder. So we can see the diseases which represent which organ. And then we do the palpitations, like we do the pulse reading, because the pulse reading on the wrist pulse, we can do this pulse reading, and then the meridian points on the feeling of the wrist, and then the inquiries, we are doing the inquiries by asking the questions about the person's past health and habits. Traditionally, we have include the 10 questions, the basic one, which range from the diet and the sleeping patterns, according to these methods. So it's used to evaluate the patient's conditions according to these three diagnosis methods. Okay?
Okay. Thank you for the answer, madam. So I'll proceed with my next question. What are the diseases generally treated by traditional Chinese medicine? Does it also have to treat chronic diseases like cancer, autoimmune disorders, stroke, and Alzheimer's disease?
Yeah, the diseases normally treated by TCM, we have treated like insomnia, and then the stomach problem like gastric, and then we have the lung problems, also like cough, fever, and then from the head we have the headache, and then the stomach problem as well, and then the allergics. Autoimmune system also have, and then infertility, and then the menopause. And then the diseases like cancer, we do in TCM, we also help to treat like diseases like cancer, and then the stroke patients we also have. And then on Alzheimer's, on Parkinson as well, we do treat this type of diseases.
Okay. I understand, madam. Thank you for the answer. So I'll pass it to next person.
Good afternoon, madam. I am Revati here. So my first question for madam is, generally, what is the duration of the treatment for acute and chronic conditions? How long does TCM take to show the effectiveness of the treatment?
Yeah, the length of time before you see results depends on the number of factors. For some conditions, people see results within a few minutes, of a first treatment. But for chronic conditions, it may take few weeks or longer to see the noticeable results. So it depends, because treatment is also dependent on whether or not you consistently sometimes take the herbal health usage, whether you are following the doctor instructions or not. Sometimes if you follow the doctor instruction, like 1 week you need to come and do treatments according to the doctor's advice, like 1 week, twice a week. It depends. So maybe like 10 sessions within one course, like for the knee pain, you can see the results. And then for acute one, like one treatment or 2 treatment, you can see the result instantly, can treat the treatment, disappear. Like the Achilles tendon, it depends. The effectiveness is, you can see the effectiveness immediately, you can see the effectiveness, and then depends on the conditions of the disease and the body conditions. Okay.
Thank you, madam. Got it.
Yeah.
And my second question is, there are around 300 herbs that are being used in TCM. What are the common herbs that are used in TCM and its benefits? Can madam explain how the herbs are being used?
Yeah, there are so many herbs. But the more best known one, for example, I give you a ginseng, the Rensen. Actually, it's a very well known. Actually, the name like ginseng, because it's direct translate is a human root, Rensen. So because the shape of the ginseng is about like the human body, so similar, so it has the ability to cure the human, like it can replenish the qi in our body, the qi, and then warm the body. So from the ginsengs, like nowadays in Western side, they say you have these antioxidants, like, which helps the body of free radical. So the most for TCM, the ginseng is to increase the qi, to replenish your qi. We have ginseng, and then walnuts, cinnamons. Like cinnamons, it can warm up the body to increase the energy of your body as well. We do have ginger, the normal one, the ginger also, as a herbs we normally use. And then for the goji berry, it helps on our eyes. So it can be a normal food for us to take, and then it can treat as it's a herbs for your eyes problem. And then because this goji berry is go into our kidney, so it can increase the kidney essence to improve your eyesight. And then you have a red leaf hong zao, it's called jujuba. It can increase though it's like a fruit, but it can increase promote the blood flow in our body, and then it can also can improve the blood circulations. And then we have the licorice, we call it gan chao. Licorice gan chao is a very common in TCM, because this gan chao, this licorice, it can harmonize all the medical herbs. It can harmonize, then can becomes into a formula. That's why sometimes normally we given to patients not a single herbs, but we are combine different single herbs into one formula. That's why sometimes we need licorice to harmonize all the herbs together into one formula, so then it can regulate in our body. And then we have the Chen is a orange peel, mandarin peel. This one, it can reduce the flame in our body. Like this type of herbs will help in TCM herbs for these few Chinese herbs. Okay.
Okay, thank you, madam, for the clear explanation. And my third question is, madam is an expert in treating insomnia. So can madam explain how insomnia is treated in TCM and if the treatment provided is effective?
Yeah. Insomnia is nowadays people a lot of facing this problem of insomnia. Treated in TCM, of course, when a patient comes, we need to do the diagnosis first. Diagnosis, we do pulse reading, and then we have to do the inspections, and then we need to do the inquiry. What's the cause of the insomnia first? And then we want to know what is the cause of the why. So when we know the cause, and then we need to do, after we do inquiry and then find out the cause, and then we use the methods of giving the Chinese herbs during one course, and then the most important, we need to do acupuncture and the scalp acupuncture. And then there's a scientific research show that you do one course 3 times a week for this insomnia. You need to do at least 3 times a week. And then each time, the duration of the acupuncture is around, don't need too long, about half an hour each time for the needle retentions. Normally we do acupuncture to calm down her mind. And then normally the acupuncture point, like Nei Guan and Shenmen, all these points. 1 week you do 3 times, at least you do one course is around 15 times. Mostly you can see the effect and then plus do the Chinese herbs, and then some actually do, some mild exercise will help to treat this insomnia. And then also at night, before sleep, you have to soak the leg with the Chinese herbs. These few things will help on the Chinese and for the insomnia. Okay.
Thank you so much, madam. I'll pass to the next person.
Yeah. Are there any side?
Good afternoon, madam. I'm Lakshmi.
Yeah.
I would like to know if there are any side effects of traditional Chinese medicine if used in the long term, similar to Western medicine.
Actually, how to say? Because Chinese herbs is the pattern differentiation depend how you identify the person's conditions. We don't treat disease in TCM. We treat patterns and the patients. Because everybody has their own type of patterns. So actually we cannot say we treat this type of disease. In TCM, we treat the patterns and the patients. So think about so if side effects means like the herbs, like peppermint herbs is peppermint, like it is cold and cinnamon is hot. So if you give peppermint to a patient, like peppermint giving to a patient with menopause one, so with hot flushes one, so but you cannot give cinnamon to menopause patients. If the plant, the peppermint is cold, you give to a patient with the hot conditions one, then the balancing of the patients is get balanced. So side effects of TCM Chinese medicine if used in the long term, but how long does it take for Chinese herbs to work? Are there any? Yeah, actually for Chinese herbs, we cannot say we have side effects because normally we don't give a Chinese herb like give you 1 year because within a few weeks, if a practitioner give you a 2 weeks medicine already, after 2 weeks they need to consult again, do a pulse reading again on body conditions so that they will change the medicine according to your body's types. We cannot give a Chinese herb in the long term like half year, a half year, like the Chinese we cannot give like half year without half year continuously because like Western medicine they can give you in half year without consult your condition, but in TCM we cannot give you a half year medicine but without consult the conditions. Do you get what I mean?
Yes,
because our body change day by day. So if after 2 weeks already the practitioners need to consult again, depends, we'll give you the medicine according to your body changes. So.
Okay, understood, madam. The next question that I have for you, madam, is it safe to take Western and traditional Chinese medicine together?
Actually, we can take Chinese medicine and Western medicine together, but there must be a gap in 2 hours. Because normally, like patients who have high blood pressure one, they need to take the high blood pressure medicine. But while we need to give them the Chinese herbs, we need a gap between these 2 types of medicine because we don't know what is the ingredient of the Western medicine. For safe purposes, we need a gap between these 2 types of medicines, and it will be safe enough. So we can take both medicines together, but there must be a gap between these 2 medicines.
Okay, thank you for the thorough explanation, Miss.
Yeah.
The next thing I would like to know, madam, is if there are any specific dietary restrictions that must be followed during the period of treatment in TCM.
Yeah, there's a specific diet. Yeah, but during the treatment, normally we advise the patients cannot take the raw food, cold drinks, and then the cold items. And then it's better at the hot and spicy foods. And then the fried items, and then the oily, greasy food is better don't take. There's a restrictions, and then the refined sugar also is not advisable to take. Mostly the chili, the hot and spicy food, the sweet and sour food are restrictions that must be followed during the period of treatment in TCM. Specific, yeah.
Okay, madam, I'll keep that in mind. That's all the questions I have for you, madam. Moving on to the next person.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Vimala here. So my first question is, Madam is also an expert in managing anxiety disorders. May I know how anxiety disorders are treated in TCM and if the treatment provided is effective?
The anxiety, actually, Yeah, actually, for this anxiety is, all the way they have, the negative thinking. So, which means in TCM, there's a yin and yang, they are not in a balanced stage already. Yin-yang imbalance, there will be a lot of diseases occurs. So, in order to balancing this yin and yang, because yin and yang, that's why we also have to go back to our original, the basic one is you need to do Wang Wen Wen check, do the basic inspections, Wang Wen Wen check, and then do the pulse reading, and then the inquiry of his life, and then actually this anxiety actually also needs the somehow like the consultations on the more on the psychology. So this one, the most important also we have the acupuncture point on anxiety disorders. Also mostly on the scalp acupuncture. Scalp acupuncture, and then because this one is more due to the liver imbalances of the liver organs, the liver. So we need to see the cause of the cause of the disease of these patients and how is the conditions, and then we do pulse reading, and then we do some Chinese TCM acupuncture, and then the trainer. Slowly, this one takes time to treat for this type of diseases. It takes time also, but acupuncture also will help. Okay.
Let's move on to the second question. Okay. Can TCM help in treating COVID-19 patients?
Can traditional? Yes, can. This question is very, actually, can tradition? Yeah, can. TCM is very effective in preventing this COVID. And then because due to, because you see in China, there's a lot of cases, but they can cut down their decrease in number to single digits. So how TCM help in, can treat, because the best choice, actually TCM currently is the best choice for treatment and prevention of COVID-19. Because this infection disease in view of actually it's believed that the progress of the disease in the human body can be divided to 4 steps on, because defense Qi, and then defense Qi, nutrient, and blood. So the 4 steps can be used to summarize the actually from superficial and then go deep inside to our body. Can tradition,
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I'll just move to the last question.
Yes.
My last question is, it is highly advised to build and have a strong immune system, specifically during this pandemic. According to TCM, what recommendations are given to boost the immune system, and how does it help?
Okay. So most of us know the immune system and the importance in the prevention of sickness for our immune system as fighting virus and bacteria. But actually, what is the immune system? Each is not an organ, but rather collections of various cells which acts to protect the body from harmful invaders such as bacteria particles. Boosting the immune system refers to allowing the immune system cell to really do their job. So if the body is in balanced stage, this will be much easier. Plus, in traditional Chinese medicine, the focus is not on strengthening the immune system specifically, but to restore balance to the whole body in order for the immune system to function optimally. So actually we have ways to boost in TCM, we have the ways to boost immune system, like the first one, acupuncture, like because the equivalent of our immune system in TCM is called the Wei Qi or defense qi. So it runs between the skin and the muscle, and the first line is defense to protect the body from external pathogens. So however, when you weak, so it will decrease the body ability to protect from external pathogens. So the most important is acupuncture can strengthen, support, and rebalance the immune system that enables our body to fend off the cold or the heat. And then we do acupressure as well. And then we do acupressure on the acupoints. And then exercise. Actually, exercise like we are doing, you know, the 八段锦, you know the 八段锦, right? Huh?
I think I've heard about it before, but then I don't really. I've heard about it before.
It's somehow like the Qigong, Qigong, the exercise. Yeah, Qigong, because this regular moderate exercise will help good blood circulation, the Qigong. And then we have the herbs. Herbs, that means like herbs also can increase the immune system, like the soothe the airway, acupressure, herbs, exercise. And then you need a healthy diet. And then you need to maintain the good personal hygiene. Yes, there's a way to boost the immune system. And now that it works. Okay?
Thank you, madam. Thank you for the wonderful explanation.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam, for the informative and thorough explanation. Is there anything further you would like to share with us regarding TCM, madam?
Actually, I would like to share like before MCO, I treated facial paralysis patients. Then I do because nasolabial go to the other side already, and then the other one is a weakness of the muscle. Then I do one. After I did the acupuncture, you can on the spot you can see the immediate effect on the muscle strength. It become more stronger. This is what the acupuncture can see the immediate effect because this one is acute. Because due to the coldness attack the face. So after 3 days already it's like an acute disease. After I do a one-time acupuncture, immediately you can see the effect on the muscle strengthness. It's become more stronger, for the acupuncture. But it depends. Sometimes the chronic disease one, it takes a longer time. Like few sessions only can see the result. Okay?
Thank you for sharing your experience with us, madam. We have reached the end of our interview session, and with that, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to you, madam, for agreeing to do the interview on such short notice and for making the time today to do the interview. You have given us such a clear overview and eye-opening insight on how TCM is being practiced firsthand. Thank you so much. We will stop the recording now.
Okay.